When did you realize your sibling was protecting you all along? I grew up with an older brother named Daniel. He was 3 years older than me, which meant he was always just far enough ahead in life to seem like he had it all figured out. To me, he was the typical older sibling, bossy, annoying, always telling me what to do, and constantly acting like he knew better. We fought all the time over small things. Who got the bigger slice of pizza, who had control of the TV remote, or whose turn it was to do the dishes. As a kid, I honestly thought he just liked making my life miserable. But the truth, the part I didn't realize until years later, was that he was protecting me in ways I never saw. The clearest moment came when I was about 16, though the seeds had been planted long before that. Back in middle school, I was a quiet kid, shy and awkward. I wasn't bullied horribly, but I was teased enough to feel like an outsider. I never told my parents about it, and I definitely didn't tell my brother. I figured he'd just laugh at me. What I didn't know was that he already knew. Apparently, one of his friends had overheard kids making fun of me and told him. I found out much later that my brother had confronted those kids behind the gym one day. He told them, "If you mess with my sibling again, you mess with me." And coming from Daniel, who was taller, louder, and already had a bit of a reputation, that was enough. The teasing stopped almost overnight. I thought maybe the kids had just gotten bored of picking on me, but no, it was my brother standing between me and them. Fast forward a few years to high school. I had just gotten my license and was feeling independent. One night, I went to a party I probably shouldn't have gone to. Things got out of hand, drinking, people doing stupid stuff, and I felt way in over my head. I remember sitting in the bathroom panicking because I didn't want to call mom and dad. Out of desperation, I called my brother. He didn't yell at me, didn't lecture me. He just sighed and said, "Stay where you are. I'll come get you." He showed up 20 minutes later, stone-faced, walked me out without a word, and drove me home. The next morning, I braced myself for the lecture of a lifetime, but it never came. He just looked at me and said, "You're smarter than that. Don't put yourself in a situation like that again." And that was it. He never told our parents. He took the heat for me by keeping my mistake a secret. But the biggest moment, the one that really made me realize he had been protecting me all along, came during my senior year. Our parents were fighting a lot back then. Money was tight, and the stress was high. I tended to escape to my room and drown it out with music. But my brother, he took the brunt of it. I didn't see it at the time, but he was always the one stepping in, arguing back, distracting them, making himself the target so that I didn't have to be. One night, after a particularly bad argument, I found him sitting on the back porch with a beer he'd stolen from the fridge. I sat down next to him, and for the first time, he opened up to me. He said, "You know why I'm always hard on you? It's because I don't want you to have to deal with this crap. If I can keep you focused on school, on friends, on anything else, maybe you won't notice how bad it is sometimes." That's when it all clicked. Every fight we'd had, every time he seemed overbearing, every moment I thought he was just being a pain. It wasn't about control. It was about protection. He was carrying weight so that I didn't have to. He was shielding me from things I wasn't ready to handle. I remember sitting there in silence, realizing that my brother, the same one I thought was just a pain in my side, had been my shield all along. He wasn't perfect. He messed up plenty. But in all the ways that really mattered, he was protecting me. Now that we're both adults, we laugh about it sometimes. He'll tease me and say, "You were such a clueless kid." And I'll shoot back, "Yeah, well, you were a pain in the ass." But deep down, we both know the truth. He was my protector long before I ever understood what that meant. So when did I realize my sibling was protecting me all along? It wasn't one single moment. It was the sum of all those little sacrifices, all those unseen battles that I only recognized once I was old enough to understand. And looking back, I wouldn't trade him for the world.